Hi, and welcome to Artistry Collaborative. My name is JoAnn, and I'm so glad you could join me today. Today, we're going to take this simple box and turn it into this gorgeous fantasy box. I hope you're doing well. I'm so glad you joined me. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. And if you want to see more videos, just hit the red bell, and every time I upload a new video, they'll let you know. I am so excited to get going, and here at Artistry Collaborative, we are the home of TriLab, because all we want you to do is try. You are creative. I don't care what anyone told you. I don't care what anyone made you believe, because you do have it in you, and you don't have to look. Your art does not have to look like anyone else's. It should be an expression of you. So come along and just try with me. Okay, so I have this lovely box that I got from AC Moore when it was going out of business. And I have no idea what I'm going to do with it. At first I thought I would take this off and make it a shadow box, but I'm going to leave it as it is. It's very cool. It's in the shape of a book. And so I do know that I want it to be fairy themed. Very magical looking and all of that fine stuff. So I'm just sanding the edges, making sure that everything is smooth. Not too bad. I did know that I want to add some stenciling on it to give it some texture. So let's start off with that. I'm going to use my modeling paste. I think we'll start on the side. Let's take this label off. Yeah. There. So, excuse me. These I also got at the Dollar Tree. Not Dollar Store, yeah, Dollar Tree. They come in a set of 3, I believe. 3 different ones. But very handy for this. And you just spread it. I don't think I'm going to do the whole back. Maybe I will. I don't know. But you want to spread it evenly. And you don't need a lot, so it goes quite a way. I'm going to make it go all the way down. So how are you today? I hope you're well. This is actually my second video today, so I'm feeling kind of ambitious, I guess. Well, the last couple of days I have not. I think I picked up some kind of poison. I had to go to the doctor's, I went to the walk-in clinic because my doctor is still working from home. And I had to get my earwax removed. My ears were blocked, and that was driving me crazy. And then this morning I was so itchy I decided to take a bath in some Epsom salts and ended up scraping my arm really good. And so I killed 2 birds with 1 stone. Look how pretty. And ended up getting some prednisone for my rash. So that's what I did this morning, and it was wonderful because the walk-in clinic I chose was further away, but there was no one else there, and I know they're much slower where I went today, because I just, with all this going on, I still, even though they're letting you know, loosening things up a little bit. I just don't trust this pandemic. Being cautious. I am over 60, and I just don't want to take any chances. So, but I couldn't hear, and it was driving me crazy, and then the itching was even worse. And she said she thought it was some kind of poison ivy, but I know what poison ivy is, and I stay away from it, I thought. But I do some weeding in the garden. Not a whole heck of a lot, so I didn't think that was it, but she said that's what it looked like to her. So I'm on prednisone, and she said prednisone will make you feel jumpy. So maybe it's just giving me all this energy. So I'm going to tape away. Plus I just have so many projects that I want to give to you and share with you. So I'm going to dry this, and I'm going to do a little bit on the front. Okay, so this is dried. I did try to put some in here, and that did not work. So I came up with another idea. So now I'm going to cover the box in black gesso. Now, if you don't have black gesso, you can use black paint. But I do know that I decided I want to have a moon here. So I had this moon in my stash, which of course this is way too big. So I put this down on my copier, and I reduced it by 65%, or maybe I reduced it by 35%. This is 65% of this, and that's perfect fit. So I cut one out of foam core right here, and I covered it with gesso. It's still drying, but we're going to cover this with gesso. And so I'm getting excited because I'm thinking about, you know, all the different things and colors, and I've got glitter, and I've got iridescent paste, and I've got blue-green interference, and I've got these mica chips. There's just so many. So excited. All right, so we just get our brush, and you take the black gesso, and it's just going to go over everything. Now, a lot of people will say, especially when you're doing mixed media, why do you put layers down and then cover them up? And it kind of builds a foundation. It gives it a lot of depth and meaning. I don't know how to explain it, except that when you do it, you'll see. At first, you're going to find that you may do pieces and you're going to go, I liked it better before I did that step, and that's okay. But the wonderful thing about mixed media, or art in general, is that you can always cover it up. It's not brain surgery. Nothing is going to get hurt. If you make a mistake, sometimes my mistakes are my best work. Most times they are. And I try not to have a plan. My daughter and I go back and forth over this because she is a planner. She has to know exactly what's going to happen, and then she gets really frustrated when it doesn't happen the way she expected it to happen. And she is awed by the fact that I just come in and I just go for it, and I just see what happens. And I just let the products kind of tell me where to go. An idea will come, and I may have to change it. I may have to redo it. But that's the fun of it. That's the exciting part of it. It kind of speaks to you without you even knowing it. And, you know, the results are just surprising and rewarding. And so that's why I think it's really important that you tap into your creativity. If I haven't said it recently, I do have a podcast. I do it on Anchor, but you can find it on Spotify, Google, Apple apps. I'm trying to think other ones. There's quite a few platforms, iTunes, and it's called Inner Promptings. and I have a little over a dozen episodes. I was interviewing local artists to see what they were up to support their work and to share their challenges and their accomplishments, and to help inspire other people to do the same. And it's really, I'm very quite proud of it, and I've been really lacking since starting the YouTube videos, and also I can't interview anyone, or I haven't learned how to interview anyone remotely, because that would be awesome. Love to know what artists are doing in the pandemic. I know I have been creating like crazy, and the hard part is that I'm not sure how I'm going to sell it. I did have an Etsy shop and I closed it because the shipping is just so expensive, but I do craft shows, and I don't think those are going to happen this year, so I'm just really wondering how I'm going to get my products and my classes. I do want to teach in-person classes and just encourage creativity all around. Again, I do think it's really important all the time, especially now. I think people are trying to figure out what's important, and it's not that I'm trying to create a bunch of artists. That would be a great outcome, but that's not what it's about. It's about discovering your gifts and discovering what you can do and stretching yourself so that you don't just endure life, you enjoy it, you explore it, you become curious about life and different things you can do, and some things you're going to like and some things you're not, but at least you can say that you've tried. And I just think that creativity is the way to do that. And so many people will say, well, I don't have a creative bone in my body, and that's not true. If you're breathing, if you're human, you are creative. You are meant to be creative. You are, despite your religious affiliations, if you have any, I believe, and this is my own personal belief, but I believe that God or the universe is creation. And whenever you are in the act of creation, you are closest to your highest power, and you are most connected to your divine self. And in that, you will get these inner promptings. That's why I call it that. You'll get these feelings, you'll get these notions to try things. And then your mind will step in and go, you can't do that. You don't know enough. You're not smart enough. You're not talented enough. You're too old. You're too whatever. And none of it is true. None of it is true. You can create art without any money. You don't need all the fancy supplies. You don't need training. You can look at YouTube videos. You can take out a book from the library. You can experiment with things that you have in your home. It's amazing. That's one of my favorite things to do, is to repurpose things, see things and go, wait a minute. My daughter gets really angry because I have so much stuff. We've been filling up our water cooler with jugs from the Dollar Tree, and the other day I just thought, oh, it's such waste. I said, hold on to those jugs. I'm going to see if I can make something with them. And she's like, are you kidding? And I'm like, no, I don't know what. Maybe a fairy house for outdoors, maybe a bird house. I don't know. But they're just so big, and I hate filling up the dump. I grew up, well, it was the town dump when I was a child. And it was just this hole in the ground, and it became the largest landfill in New England. And it spans over 12 miles, and it's ugly, and it ruined the street I grew up on. And so I'm very passionate about not bringing things to the dump if we can help it. And we throw away so much, and that's the other thing I love about mixed media, and my daughter does not, is that you can use anything and everything. We're going to make journals from discarded grocery boxes, and we're going to, you know, just use what you have. I have tons of old jewelry from my mom that is broken, and they make beautiful accessories for art. And so I hope that you will get as excited as I do about the process, about exploring, about trying, about all of it, because it really is important for your well-being. It is important as exercising and eating right, and because it's your soul speaking to you. I promise you that. And you're gonna just be amazed at the things you can create, and gifts that you had that you didn't know, or you know, you did as a kid and you just felt like you outgrew it. But I'm gonna finish this up and dry it, and then I will come back to you. Okay, so as you can see, this is pretty much dry. I'm gonna dry a little bit more here, but that's what it looks like with the black gesso in it. Let's make sure that this is okay. Now I'm gonna take some ink sprays. I have a different variety. What I'm going to do is I cut this piece of paper from a piece of 12 by 12 scrapbooking paper. This is by Flavia, and it's called Starry Sky. It's pretty old, so I don't know if they still make it. So I probably got it at Michael's or JoAnn's. And so I cut it, and this just is going to slide. I went on and there. Did the moon, but we need to add some color over here, and so I'm going to try to match that up, and then I put some of the mica, and then see what we have. I should put some gloves on because, and then I will stain your hands, so you may want to use spray adhesive. I got some Dollar Tree. And then I have a whole bunch of these. As you can see, I have tissue paper all around. I do it because it covers. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this little piece of paper in here. So I'm going to get out my Mod Podge and do that. And I went through my stash and spray all over my sprays. I was looking for buttons and jewelry and different things that we can embellish the box with. Now, I'm not sure if you can see this. There is a sheen and some light colors in there, but I think I'm going to use some of my pastes to highlight just a little bit more, because I think I'd like a little bit more color. So this, I'm just going to put this in here. I'm not getting much color, so we need to lighten it up a little bit. These are mica sprays. Now, I didn't tell you what this is, but this is Delusions Ink Spray Vibrant Turquoise. This is Distress Spray. Oh, Mermaid Lagoon. This is Heidi Swap Navy, and this is Heidi Swap Hot Pink. Now, I'm going to use some of my, this, I don't know what this is. This is Heidi Swap White, and attach Moonlight, and this is Tattered Angels Glimmer Mist. I'm just going to start giving me a Pro. See, I'm liking that. That's what I was going for. I'd like it more on this. Maybe we need a little bit more. I'm going to take our little fairy. These are, alright. So we're going to get this to dry. Creative Embellishments. I will put a link below. I don't have the exact inside black order number, but if you go on there, you can see all the different fairies and the different sizes, because there's bigger ones and smaller ones and all that. So, okay, and then I went through my stash. So while that box is drying, I'm going to work on the moon.
This I got at
Now
the
I
Dollar
did put
Tree,
a
just broken glass.
button layer of
and
this
is an old
CT
earring,
interference green
and
blue.
pieces of jewelry.
It does have a tint to it.
Let me just play.
But
and
it's
see
not
what we
strong
like and
enough
what
for
we
me.
don't like.
So I'm going to
But before we do that, let's take out
my
a little of
brush
this.
paste, and we're going to experiment. I think we're going to
Rub
use
some in.
a little
and
bit of
there.
everything. So we're going to put on a really thick layer of
That's
this.
my handy dandy.
This is laser iridescent
Baby white.
paste. I know this is from, it's called Master's Touch, and that's a Hobby Lobby brand. And
Just put little bits and pieces.
it's very cool. But I especially want it. I would like it very chunky. It has all kinds of wonderful glitter and pieces of iridescent cellophane.
It just brings
and
out
all
that
magical stuff.
stencil
Very
so
cool.
much more.
Alright.
Before. This one, a little bit.
Alrighty. Now, as you can see, I did not clean my brush good enough. That's okay because the moon can have some gray on it. Then I'm going to put, let's put some mica. Now this was from Recollections, which is from Michael's, and it's called, and again, these pastes are from Art Company.
This cover it, which is a really cool company.
I did get it on clearance, so
And
I
I also
don't
have
probably
some,
have
this
it
one
anymore,
is
but you might
called-
be able to get it on,
Let's see.
Amazon.
Turquoise.
It's just a SKU.
turquoise.
467.
And then this one
152.
is called.
Let's see. What's this
Magenta.
called? Mica and glitter mix, silver.
And
That's all it says.
again,
So, but I'm gonna go for the little
Yeah,
stuff. I
some
don't want too
earrings.
many big mica
a little
pieces.
bit of silver too.
Oh, yeah. I am loving this. Okay.
Oh,
Just a
yeah.
little bit of that.
Much
and
better,
then we're
much
gonna
brighter.
add a little bit
Making that
much,
much more. Just
That's a little too much to pick up.
you don't need a lot of this
Colors
paste.
in the box.
It lasts a long, long time.
This is also from
That's the
Hobby
one thing
Lobby.
about art supplies.
It just says jumbo
for
blue
the most
diamonds.
part, except for gesso and glue.
So,
They last a long time. Yeah. Not good timing on my part because this is still
okay.
take a while to glue.
Oh, that's my moon, and I love her.
Magenta here.
Look at that. So we're gonna let this dry. I'm gonna pick this up and put it on here, and I'll come back. So after drying overnight, this is what we have. And I went on and did the moon. I first put the layer of the interference, and then I put some of the
Let's
mica,
get some silver.
and the glitter, and then I did a covering of this spray adhesive I got from the Dollar Tree. And then I have a whole bunch of these little fairies, which I just placed on there, and she kind
This
of
is
stuck
the
them there.
silver gold.
So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to glue this little piece of paper in here. So I'm going to get out my Mod Podge and do that. And I went through my stash and was looking for buttons and jewelry and different things that we can embellish the box with. Now, I'm not sure if you can see this. There is a sheen and some light colors in there, but I think I'm going to use some of my pastes to highlight just a little bit more, because I think I'd like a little bit more color. So this, I'm just going to put this in here. All right. So that's that. That's that. Put that in there. Now let's see. I definitely know I want this big piece down here. Do a top coat. So we will just get some of the E6000. Put that in a little bit more. And that'll be that. Okay. Now, I'm
going to use some of
you
my
just play.
E6000.
You see what you like, what you don't like.
And attach
The
gets
moon,
lost,
like
so I
so.
think we'll try this one. And then I like that color.
Put
The
tips
tips
here.
And sometimes you can just play a little too much, drive yourself a little crazy. That's some of the back. But, you know, just trust your instincts and go with like a little pink in there. Take our little fairy. These are from Creative Embellishments. I will put a link
Shape.
below. I don't have the exact ordering number, but if you go on there you can see all the different fairies and the different sizes, because there's bigger ones and smaller ones and all that. So okay, and then I went through my stash. This is what I kind of came up with. I have these beads, and I have some, this I got at the Dollar Tree. It's just broken glass and buttons, and this is an old earring and pieces of jewelry. And so then we just play and see what we like and what we don't like. But before we do that, let's take out a little of this paste and rub some in here and there. Get out our handy dandy baby wipe. And let's just put little bits and pieces. But I especially want it here. Oh yeah, it's a lot better. It just brings out that stencil so much more than it was before. This we're going to have to clean a little bit. And put some on the back. And again, these pastes are from Art Company, which is a really cool company. And then I also have some, this one is called, let's see, turquoise, just turquoise. And then this one is called magenta. And again, I'm just going to highlight some areas. Put a little bit of silver too. And now let's see. I definitely know I want this big piece down here. So we will get some of the E6000. And we will put that on here. Like that. And then you just play. You see what you like, what you don't like. This doesn't want to like that. It gets lost, so I think we'll try this one. And then I like that color, so let's put those down. And sometimes you can just play a little too much, drive yourself a little crazy. But, you know, just trust your instincts and go with like a little pink in there. I like this one because it has a shape. So, we'll do that. And put another little pink. What's this one? This one's a little purple. That's lavender, actually. Put that in there. Be interrupted. What I was saying is when Mercury is in retrograde. Anything technical in communication is always messed up. Things just fail, and I've had so many times I'm starting and restarting this video, so I apologize. But anyways, I decided to go ahead and find a word. I buy these words also on Creative Embellishment. I've got magic and glimmer and sparkle. And what I do is I cover it with a thing of gesso, and then you take an embossing pad like so, and you get, it is like a glue. I also have a pen, an embossing pen. This one is by Ranger. This is by Tim Holtz. This is also Ranger. And just make sure I get this glue all over. It's very fragile, so I think this would be the better way to go. And then I'm going to emboss it, and this will be highlighted with this gorgeous metallic iridescent beauty. So again, I apologize. Okay, well, since I was so rude, and you just simply put this in here. This is embossing powder, and I believe this is the Michaels brand, and you just cover that really well. Like so. And then you add heat with your embossing tool. And you can see as it heats up that it kind of bubbles and creates this really awesome effect. Of course, you can over bubble it, but here we go. Yeah, that's the magic. Ah! That's the stuff. Okay. Yeah, there's a couple of places I'd like a little bit more glitter. So I go back. Beautiful. Then we take our book and we're going to put this, we can put it here, we can put it here. I don't know. Kind of gets lost there, but I don't really like it there. It's not sturdy, so I think I'm going to put it here. It doesn't work up there. I could do it like that. I put a button behind it. Build this up a little bit. Yeah, I think I like that. All right, let me glue this down and I'll come back. Okay, so as you can see, I changed it up again. I decided I liked it here better, and then I found these in my stash. I believe they're by Tim Holtz. They come out at Halloween time, and I just really, really love them. And so I put them in the background as stars. I put a little bling up there, and yeah, I really, really like it. I hope you do too. I hope you're enjoying these tutorials. Please, if you do, like and subscribe to my channel, and if you hit the little bell, every time I upload a new video, it will come up. Again, please, if leave any comments or questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Website is artistrycollaborative.org. To email me is artistrycollaborative@gmail.com. And I also have a podcast called Inner Promptings. I would love for you to check out. It's on Anchor, but you can also find it on iTunes and Spotify and Apple and Google applications. I really am so grateful that you're here, and I hope you're enjoying this, and I hope you do play because it's really, really important. And I apologize for all the technical difficulties. Hopefully I can straighten that out in editing. And you just have a wonderful, wonderful day. And remember to keep on creating. Thank you.